Well, hello, my beautiful Sagittarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. So let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? What do they need to be aware of regarding their money and their career at this time? Can you please show them the way? What can they expect for their future? Can you please highlight to them what they need to know right now? We've got the moon energy. We've got the wheel of fortune. That is very good indeed there. That can indicate an unexpected surprise coming on in there for you. Now, I don't know if you noticed with the Gaia chimes, they started off very quiet at first. But then they got louder and louder and louder. And I was like, oh my gosh, Sagittarius, they're going to be making some noise over the next coming weeks and months there. Really being seen for whatever it is that you do, whether that's promoting yourself or putting yourself up for a promotion. Maybe it can mean that, you are starting to further your reach in your industry, that people are noticing you in some way. But I definitely felt it in your energy there. So I'm excited to see that wheel of fortune there for you as well. We've got the outcome energy as a world. Just so you're aware, I only take the uprights in the deck. I do not take the reversals there unless it is in the resistance position. So I want you to be aware of that, of course. Now, the world card indicates you're doing it all, okay? You're doing everything, and of course, you're very goal-oriented, but there's a Fool card here as well. So this means that there's something new here. Either you're launching something new, or perhaps you are extending your reach. Independent energy here, could be working independently, but also I feel you could have some more freedom in your working environment. A lot of you are, basically clearing down your workloads, being very detail oriented at this time, taking action and basically closing down projects and tasks and responsibilities and then making sure you're on to the next. So that's definitely something that I can see there. Cycles of repeat going to work really well for you. The Justice card, all about balance, harmony, structure, but also legalities. Some of you could be looking at contracts at this time. On a personal level, you could be looking at rolling contracts because there's so many cycles there. There may be something that comes to an end. This could be insurance. It could be perhaps, how should I receive? The moon. We have the Ten of Swords there as well. Now, this could indicate, as I said, something is coming to an end. You've got a Ten of Swords there as well. So this means it could be like a service provider, a contract, visa, passport expiry, the date on your credit card, for example. Something needs to be renewed there. A lot of you may actually decide not to renew this and go elsewhere. You get a better deal, or it feels better to go elsewhere. You've been waiting for this contract or something to come to an end. But also, I feel a lot of you will be looking at renewals in the next couple of weeks. And this could be legal documentation as well, leases, if you rent something, it could be a subscription. You may be deciding whether you really utilize this anymore. I mean, the Page of Swords is to be vigilant. I'll show you all these cards in a moment. So you're keeping an eye on stuff that tends to go unnoticed. Stuff that perhaps you've had to write in your diary to remind you to get it done. Maybe there's a due date on something coming up. This is your friendly reminder because the moon is there and there is a potential to miss this. Okay, something could go unnoticed there, so just watch out for that because I feel like you're busy in lots of different areas, so there is a potential to not see something or have to return to something, correct it, or really look at it there, to change it. I mean, I'm going to put it out there right now. Some of you may be working the graveyard shift as well. So it could be that you're holding it all together, holding fort, as it were, maybe taking on extra hours or working in the office if you work in an office, or if you work in a warehouse or in some department or whatever it is that you do. Could be that you're doing extra hours on your own, or there's like a skeleton kind of service where you feel it's just you there tapping away or creating or, stacking or whatever it is that you do. It can be that sometimes the graveyard shift, whilst it feels very isolating, you kind of like it. I mean, back in the day when I would do the graveyard shift on something, I would see it as really quiet time to reflect, to get my thoughts in order there, but also to kind of like systematically do what I had to do and get it done quickly so I could do other things that I wanted to do perhaps or get round to doing. So I feel a lot of you could be connecting to that at this time. Now, looking at the energy, because the Ten of Swords is there, some of you may literally be leaving a position in order to enter into some sort of promotion or a new role that has more responsibility, more clout, more power there with that Emperor energy. And this is you taking a leadership position in some way. So this could mean that like part of a role or part of a way of working is coming to an end. This doesn't necessarily mean anything negative. I want you to be aware of that. Ten of Swords means that you've got a lot on your mind. You're clearing down your list because Ten of Swords is like all the things you need to prioritize and get done there. And it can be that you're crossing things off your to-do list and closing down that list. With the World card energy, it definitely means that a lot of you are very goal-oriented and you have some things that may have been lingering for too long and you just need to get it done already. And you're being stricter with your energy because the Emperor is like, okay, I need structure. I need to make sure I get it all done because you've got a lot on your plate. To have tens, that means, any card that has a 10 on it, it means you're doing everything. So I feel a lot of you, structure is going to work really well for you over the next coming weeks and months. Okay, now before I continue, I want to address if anyone has come to this reading and you're currently out of work or you're looking for a role and it's been really hard. I mean, with the moon energy, there's been a lot of uncertainty. You may be a little bit worried or nervous about how things are going right now. Because you have a Justice card, I feel like you're doing everything right. I want you to be aware of that. You're putting yourself out there and there needs to be balance, needs to be reciprocity. You need to find a role that matches your skill set, but also matches the pay grade that you expect for valuing your skill set. Okay, so reciprocity is the key. I do see with that Page of Swords, you are keeping your eyes peeled there. You're very vigilant. You are, on the lookout. Some of you have contemplated a new path or migrating your skills into some sort of opportunity there. I feel a lot of you could also be learning new knowledge to open up new pay grades. So you could be getting a qualification or a certification there, and it sets you to smash through a glass ceiling financially and get a role that is higher ranking than before, but also that brings in more money. You get to negotiate a better deal because the World card is a lot of abundance. It can indicate that you get a whole package when it comes to some sort of opportunity, and it can be that the money is right, or it can be a role that brings in some sort of commission or incentive or some sort of benefit that helps align with what you aspire to build for your future. Fool card is definitely a new start, something that puts a spring in your step. But a lot of you, because we have the World energy and the Fool, it can be that you're migrating your skills and your new knowledge in order to move into a new sector or into a new way of working, okay? But there is a new role coming on in. Now, I have to acknowledge that there are two things coming your way. One feels very much like a starting role position, okay? And I actually see that Ten of Swords as you turning that down and saying, actually, something better just came in, because you have the Emperor, which is a higher ranking position. There's more responsibility, more work, more, opportunity to get money, but it almost feels like there's two energies that you need to really think about. And looking at the majority energy, a lot of you are going to turn down like a starting role, or maybe this is a starting position that leads to something, and it's maybe a certain probation period that you have to work before you lock in a contract. Because a lot of you with that Justice card, you're signing a contract, okay? Now, there is a small portion of energy. Some of you may have already started a role and you're like not so sure how you feel about it. With that moon energy, you're feeling a little bit uncertain. You may actually spontaneously, and this is because something else comes in. Out of the blue, we've got the Wheel of Fortune there. There is another role that comes on in, and you may decide to leave the role that you've just taken, if it's a new role, and go towards something greater. Okay, so that's coming on in there. But I feel like you only leave it when you get the new role. So if you're searching, there's definitely one coming in. If you have no roles at the moment and you're searching for a job opportunity, you've been doing a lot of due diligence, investigating. Suddenly out of the blue, an opportunity comes, but I really feel that there are two and one you turn down, or one you go, actually, it doesn't tick all the boxes, but you get the right one for you, and I feel like you're onto an exciting role, an exciting opportunity, and I feel there is independence there, or freedom to, step into your power, make the role your own. And I feel it's everything you ever look for, because the world energy indicates that it encompasses all that is available for you to nourish this role. But I do feel it is like an end role position. And what I mean by that is a lot of you will, stay in that role because you love it, and you'll retire into that role. It could also be that a lot of you, this role, it's like, it is what it is. There's no room for maneuver. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no potential for a promotion when you take that new role. It is what it is. It's a standing position, and that's how it will remain for the duration of you deciding to be in it, okay? But is there an opportunity coming in? The answer is yes. You're going to be communicating very shortly and signing a contract or looking at legalities. Pay close attention to anything that you're signing, of course, because there's always a hidden clause. We've got the moon energy right there twice in your reading, and that can indicate something you're uncertain about. But the Knight of Swords indicates it's changeable. So you can actually decide to change some aspect of a contract, or you can negotiate a better deal. Okay, and I feel that you're going to lock in an opportunity, and it is a brand new start. It feels like a leap of faith. So perhaps it's something that's not completely connected to what you normally do, but it feels like it's exciting. And for some of you, it may require extra hours, or you doing something very independently where it feels like there's no one around. For example, and I'm just giving you examples, for some of you, if you're into like security, for example, and you like being very vigilant or analyzing places and just keeping an eye on things, this could be that you are doing security work, and perhaps, it's a very quiet building, or there's no one about, and, you are in charge of a certain sector or a certain building, because I'm being given the word building right now as well. And it can be that, you're going to kind of love it. So I feel, it is going to bring in extra money for you there as well. And you'll build a career in this, whatever this is. It doesn't have to be security. I want you to be aware of that. That's just something that just popped out there. I feel more than anything, this is symbolic of whatever role you are about to step into, because there is one coming. There's a new role right here. It means you're going to be secure in the role, you protect your position, and you channel your energy and your passions into this, and you make it something that is your own. Okay, so quite excited about that there as well. Now, for the rest of you, okay, moving forward, the moon energy is a card of duality. There's normally a dog and a wolf on the card, so this can be that you're loyal to a certain thing that you do right now. you're all in, you're all invested, but you may be contemplating something a little bit more independent or something a little bit more alternative to what you do already. And for some of you, this could co-align. So it could be that, you're running something or you got something up and running. There's nothing more you can do with this. It's something that will keep ticking over. You keep checking in on it or nourishing it, but it is what it is and it's come as far as it can. Now you want to extend your reach. So for example, if you work for yourself, it can be that you have got yourself up and running and the service that you provide or the goods that you provide or whatever it is that you do create or manage there, it is set and it is something that you are established at. You know what you do there and there's nothing more you can do with that, but you want to keep things fresh. So you could be, if you work for yourself, for example, opening up a second line of whatever it is that you do or something that complements what you do. It could be that you're doubling down on it, replicating it in some way, or finding a second stream of income or an alternative way to do what you do in alternative form or a different way of working, okay? Because if you think about the energy, the dog is something that is a little bit more needy, as it were, requires attention, and it feels like it's something that is ongoing, sustainable, but there's something a little bit more independent that perhaps you're thinking about right now. And for some of you with that Page of Swords, it could just be an idea on how to automate something so that it kind of takes care of itself, or it is something that's independent. Perhaps you're thinking about setting up your own business if you haven't already. But I feel a lot of you are having lots of ideas right now in order to structure your working environment, to keep it balanced, harmonized, and dabble. I just feel like you're doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, okay? And I feel, again, the Justice card is like two scales there. I mean, it's a set of scales, but there's two components or two entities there. And this is like two entities. I would say this is also an energy of whilst you're doing so much, do not neglect one thing over the other. Try and keep it balanced and regulated is what I would say there. But the moon is often a hidden opportunity or hidden talent. Or maybe it's something that you're working on behind the scenes right now or keeping it to yourself until it's ready to be launched. If you're an independent worker and you're creating a goods or a service and you're about to launch it, trial it, or, get it out there in some way, this is a great period for you to step forward and, take that leap, because I feel it's going to be very successful for you. This is a new way of working. The World card indicates it's going to be very successful indeed, but also it could extend your reach, could go global. I mean, if some of you are on social media, for example, because swords are all connected to the ether, whether you're promoting your business, goods, or service online, this could be that you further your reach, you expand, you integrate what you have done already, and you get it out there and promote it to people around the world or just outside your usual parameters. You are expanding at this time. For some of you, it could be that you're interested in, migrating your business to overseas or thinking about tax structures or wealth structures abroad to see how you can best utilize your finances and invest in what you love doing. So there could be a lot of thoughts going on in your mind right now, and you're weighing up your options, because these two cards indicate a lot of you are researching something or in development on something, and the moon can indicate that you're off grid, under the radar, you submerge yourself in something and you're not really talking about it to others until you feel it's the right moment to launch it, release it, or reveal it to your client base, customer base, or whatever it is that you do. For some of you, if you work for a company, it could be that you've had a wonderful idea, but you're formulating the plan, getting the structure in order before you, release it in a meeting or before you tell anyone about it. I feel like you're in research, development, and analysis period right now. Now, whoever you are and whatever you're doing, my beautiful Sagittarians, the Justice card indicates making some adjustments, being flexible, because there could be some hidden things that crop up. They're nothing negative. I want you to be aware of that. But it could be something that perhaps, for a lot of you with that Ten of Swords, it could be an expiry date or a deadline that you need to hit, for example, and you're working against the clock. I feel like you're going to hit your mark, you're going to make an impact, and you're going to get everything done as it should be done. You're going to take a measured pace to this, but this is about you being really honest with yourself, weighing up your options, and making some adjustments so you do have balance in the working environment. So I feel you're going to be doing a lot of many different things just to keep things interesting. But more than anything, I mean, it feels like the collective are really focused in the next couple of weeks on administrative tasks, spreadsheets, rules, regulations, policies, receipts, invoices, statements, filing, all of the stuff, documents, correspondence, getting back to people that you've been meaning to return correspondence to, formulating a plan and structuring. Some of you may even be connected to legal documentation at this time, or you are creating some sort of legal entity to run your business. Because we have an emperor there, a lot of you could be launching your own business and doing it in a legal way, like creating an LLC or something like that, or some sort of, corporation. I don't know anything about that. But it could be that you're, getting all the particulars together in order to finalize that and, set it in stone as a legal entity there. The Justice card is all about legalities. So I would say that with the Emperor there, if there's something that you do not know, especially with the moon, if that's hidden information, I mean, on a generalized scale, a lot of you may be thinking about, generational wealth structures right now for your personal needs. And it can be that the information is not readily available, so you're digging a little bit deeper. This is a card of investigating the way. It's about, doing your research and analyzing what works, what is the structure, how do the wealthy utilize certain structures in order to protect their finances, build their wealth, and make sure that they leave a legacy. So a lot of you could be looking at that on a practical level right now, or this has captured your attention for you to investigate over the next coming weeks there. I mean, with the Ten of Swords, a lot of you with that world energy, you're thinking about 401ks, retiring, pension pots, your acquisitions, and, thinking about your measured pace towards retirement. And for some of you, you may actually be retiring in the next 6 weeks. If that's you, congratulations. You're going to have a monumental time. This is your time to enjoy, all the things that you're interested in. There's going to be an initial kind of like excitement. You're going to be doing all the stuff, and then you're going to have to measure or temper your pace. There's just an energy of like time and pace adjustment there, because of course, for some of you, if you're retiring right now, maybe all your friends or your family are not retiring at the same time. Maybe you're looking at what to do with your time. I feel you're going to feel it really well. A lot of you will go on adventures and just be excited to do all those wonderful things that you have been meaning to get round to doing. But also, you may be getting integrated into new circles, friendship circles, and activities that help you learn more about yourself and give back to yourself at this time. And yes, I feel looking at the structure you have with the world energy and the Fool card and the Emperor, it tells me you have enough. You've got everything set up, so I feel there's nothing to worry about, but you are being very savvy, very measured. And of course, with that Emperor energy, at first you're really strict with your finances and sticking to a budget, okay? Now, for the rest of you, of course, you may just be, thinking about your retirement and making sure that you're on course to meet those requirements for your future. I definitely see that your future self will thank you for everything that you're doing in this moment. But the Justice card can indicate, a need to kind of like deal with legal matters, contracts, paperwork, things to sign. So that can be a little bit frustrating when you want to go off and do your thing or create or whatever it is that you do. But also, I would say just be mindful of hard copy mail or your spam folder. This is a time period over the next coming weeks where we have a lot of Pluto action and Mercury, there's a lot of clashing going on, and this can indicate documents going unnoticed or not being seen or not being delivered. And you have two moon energies with the Justice card, which could be a legal document, and this can mean that it goes unseen there, okay? And with that Knight of Swords, for some of you, if you live with other people, it could be that someone forgets to tell you, because this is in the resistance position, okay? Can be that something came in and they'd be meaning to tell you, but then it just went out of their mind. Nothing malicious. They just are human. They've got a lot going on in their mind as well, and they forgot, okay? So maybe a little bit frustrating at first, but for some of you, this could be time sensitive. So check it all. If you've been expecting something, I feel a lot of you are not actually expecting this, and that's the crucial part. So, check with if you, live with someone, if there's any mail that came in or where it's normally put, check your spam folders. Also, if you are expecting something, I would say if it hasn't come in or it's delayed, chase it, because I feel For some of you, you may decide to, if this is like a gift for someone or a purchase for someone, it may not come in the time that you want it to come in, okay? And you may actually end up canceling it and purchasing something else or purchasing elsewhere that can bring it in a quicker time frame. So that's coming in. That's personal, but I definitely see for some of you it could be connected to business, but just be aware of that, okay? Now, Page of Swords, this is you curious. You're considering your options. You have theories and ideas right now bubbling up. I mean, these are genius ideas. Whenever you get the Page of Swords, it means you have an incredible mind. You could be going through a period of wanting to develop your skills in some way, purchase new tools, or you're curious about new tools, apps, technology that can help you structure the way that you work. It will just help you be more free because you have that freedom card right there with that Fool energy. So even if you decide to stay where you're at or you work for yourself, work for a company, there could be an end of an old way of working. Maybe it's an outdated practice or something that glitches or, doesn't do the job that you need it to do now that technology or rules, regulations, or policies are advancing. So I feel a lot of you are ahead of the curve, getting new tech or getting new tools, or even just, researching new knowledge to stay ahead of trends so that you are relevant in your industry and that, you don't feel like you lack knowledge in any area. Page of Swords, I love a Page of Swords, especially in the protagonist energy. It means you're curious about, what you do. It means you're trying to keep things fresh. A lot of you could go into some sort of training over the next couple of weeks or download some sort of course of learning that helps you advance. I'm actually seeing in the water, because I'm scrying at the same time as doing a reading, it feels all very much like it's connected. I'm seeing like a hammer, but someone like forging something. I'm being given an energy of like many irons in the fire, like a farrier. Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. Yes, a farrier. So a farrier is someone who kind of does that, but they do like horseshoes. And I mean, horseshoe actually symbolically represents good luck. So it can be that you're working really hard to make your own luck, but also it can be that you're forging something that's hard, but the heat is on and you're passionate about what you do. And whilst it takes a lot of hard work to like shape, it's iron, isn't it? Or steel? I'm not sure. But the horseshoe, it's like it's being molded with this hammer and it feels like you're shaping something up right now. It's hard, but it's going to be very lucky. So symbolically, I feel that is something to decode. I mean, some of you, this could be something that you do as an industry. So please take it as it resonates. But because the majority of you probably don't do that, I just feel like something that has been hard, that you're forging away with, that you're passionate about. I feel like you're curious about new knowledge on how to advance. But I mean, if you think about a horseshoe as well, you put the shoes on the horses and they gallop off. So it could be that you're preparing the right tools or the right equipment so that you can advance, so that you can springboard and make progress in something. It feels like a preparation here, okay? So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to move on to your next card. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, initially it's in the resistance position, but it does go into the upright for you. And this can indicate that you feel there's been a very chaotic, disruptive energy. You're working really hard and you may feel that structure and balance works a little bit more. So a lot of you are paying attention to your schedule, really putting finite details in of dates and times when you need to do something, documenting what you need to do so you can create a structure so that you're on course. There may have been many changes going on, and I definitely see that there is like some sort of hidden change coming for you. And what I mean by that, it's nothing to worry about. It just feels like there's a change of plan or a change of date or reschedule or something about your schedule changes or the pace changes. It's actually working well for you. It's luckier for you. Don't worry about it is what I see. But if you've got something like set in stone, I feel there's one thing that you have to be a little bit flexible with, because there's going to be something that has been like, it's almost like due to unforeseen circumstances, I've had to put my focus elsewhere. So it could be something that you shelve momentarily in order to focus on something else. I'm not sure what I'm getting here, but I just want you to be aware of it. But the Wheel of Fortune, it goes into the upright, which means good luck, opportunity, and sudden. And I actually feel a lot of you, it's a sudden opportunity. and it comes left field. So for a lot of you, if you work for a company, it could be a sudden promotion or a sudden role being made available that has more responsibility, or maybe even just sudden responsibility is thrust upon you. Ten of Swords is there, so this could mean either someone leaves or is asked to leave an environment and you are given more responsibility, more work, but it sets you up for promotions or more abundance there. It can be that you're doing it all. It may be a little bit of a surprise at first, but it's a welcome surprise because somehow it benefits you. But also, if you work for yourself, this could be like a new client, new deal, new opportunity, or new way of working that is much more conducive to you making progress. And, I feel there's an energy here of you making your own luck. So whilst I do want to say there's a lot of luck here for you, because I feel there's some really good fortune coming in for you, I feel like you've worked hard to make this happen, or you are prepared for this because you've strategically made your plans around this. So it's like you did this, you're self-made in some way, but there is luck here for you. And I feel there is something here that you will celebrate. But again, it feels like the collective right now are a little bit cautious about celebrating any wins. It's like, okay, you know what? It's going well. Let's not jinx it by being overly celebratory about it. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. So I feel like celebration comes later. A lot of you, this celebration could come at the end of the year. That's just something there, okay? Maybe it is some sort of stepping stone or some sort of indication that things are developing in the right way and that you'll celebrate it when you feel you can look back on everything that you've accomplished. I'm not sure. It's something that's just coming out there. Now, the moon in the protagonist energy, that is your protagonist energy. So this means that you could be, as I said, working behind the scenes on something. Power moves in silence, right? And with that moon in the resistance position at first, I feel like you're ready to reveal something, launch something, and it's really going to take off, okay? I mean, for some of you with that Ten of Swords, it can mean that, you're going to have to manage your time. So it could be that, you're going to have a lot on your mind. Ten of Swords can indicate that, it's a lot. There's so many things to think about that you have to find a structure, or you have to have a lifestyle change, adaptation, as it were. So if you work for yourself, it could be that you're creating something new, and therefore you have to create a stricter structure to make sure that you still can factor some time for fun, for family, for traveling, for doing all the stuff, right? Because I feel like you're doing it all. But the moon essentially means as well that a hidden opportunity is making its way towards you. The universe is orchestrating something behind the scenes for you right now. You're not aware of it. It's connected to good luck. It's going to be very fast-paced. It almost feels like things are... It's interesting because if you think about these cards... You've got the Ten of Swords there, which is a quiet place, right? And then you've got the World, which is a loud place. So, I feel there is this energy of like moving from a quieter pace to a louder pace, more flamboyant pace. This could just mean that, you're going to be busier. Not really sure, but that's something that's definitely coming through there. Knight of Swords, you're running with your ideas. You're taking things to the next level. You're taking action on something. But also, I feel this success will change your life in some way. And the Emperor is all for it. It means you're leading. It means either you're stepping into a position to lead, or you're structuring your working environment to level up in some way, or boss up, to be like a main character in your financial story. You're doing something about your business or your career goals. You're setting your intentions high and you're reaching your goals. You're very productive over the next coming weeks there. The Knight of Swords is also an energy there of being very financially savvy with your money, of course, being instinctive, understanding business, understanding what you need to do, and actually doing it and doing it well. You are going the right way. You're doing what you're doing, and you're doing great, okay? But you may feel with the moon energy that either people don't notice, or you feel that you go under the radar, you feel like you're missed sometimes, but actually I feel there is some sort of reward, accolade, or some sort of acknowledgement, especially in November, that you're doing a great job, and it shall be noticed or noted, or I mean, for some of you, this could be a financial reward in some way. I do feel a lot of you, if you work in an industry where you get a bonus or a commission or something, I see some of you contemplating your next move. You may be like keeping your eyes peeled for new roles that bring more money. And you may be waiting until the end of the year to get your bonus or your commission or whatever it is, and then deciding I'll leave after that. So I'm seeing some of you contemplating that at this time. If you work for yourself, you know that you work 24/7 and that often, you are in it for the long haul. You're doing what you do and you're going to close out the year and you're going to have a very abundant year. You're going to look back and realize actually you did a great job there. I mean, Ten of Swords can also be that you look at the things that don't work for you right now. You got to be really honest with yourself with that justice energy. You may be looking at certain practices, tools, people. If you run your own business and you have a person who is not pulling their weight, someone who slips off early, this person, they kind of blend into the background. Maybe they're making private calls. Maybe they're doing their own stuff. I feel like you give some sort of concession. You're very fair. As long as the work's done, I feel like you're kind of the sort of person who's like, okay, we got our own stuff going on. I understand. But if they are kind of like encroaching on your time, your business, and you feel actually it's not working, you may have to present a legal case or, perhaps find a legal way to approach this person. You may have to give them like a bit of a warning. You may have to give them a caution or something like that first, because I mean, for some of you, there's 2 moons here, so it could be 2 cautions. Maybe they've already had one, and you're going to give them a second caution. And then the next one, that Ten of Swords, they're out. This may be something legally you've had to do. And with that Ten of Swords, it can be that some of you have to let someone go. And whilst, you don't really want to do that, the World card kind of says it's time, because it may be that they're not going to be part of the next chapter in your story when it comes to your work. And maybe it just frees more money up, or maybe it frees more, opportunity to hire the right person who's really enthusiastic about advancing your business or helping you in some way. So I feel a lot of you are restructuring something right now. And even if you work for a company, there could be restructures going on around that. And you may witness someone getting cautioned or getting let go of because, they've had a couple of chances and it's run its course. So, yeah, that's coming through. I hate to mention that message, but it is coming through. So I have to mention that. I would also say round about the end of October, faster pace. Okay, this is things picking up for you. Feels very measured, but then there's a faster pace. Probably this is why there's this energy of getting prepared for a faster pace. Now, the World card indicates abundance, prosperity, success, completeness, getting everything done, being in balance, feeling accomplished, and success. This is the wholeness of your gifts, your talents, and you're doing it all. So this tells me that, a lot of you are going to be really proud of yourself, that you integrated all your skill set. Some of you want to develop and nurture an area of your skill set that you feel goes unnoticed or isn't fully being utilized. You may feel that perhaps you haven't reached your full potential in that, but I feel like you will focus on it more, develop it, and you will reach your full potential in that. But a lot of you could also be super measured because you've got a vacation or a trip coming up and you're like getting everything done and getting everything in order so that you can take that trip. Some of you with that Page of Swords, there could be someone who's not as experienced as you. You may be training this person to do what you do while you're away. They're going to miss some things, okay? And Ten of Swords, a lot of you will be like, okay, they did what they could, but let's not hire them back, or let's not allow them to cover me while I'm away again. So there may be something in that. You may be a little bit frustrated, but that's come through there as well. Now, the world energy, it tells me that you're going to be very productive, okay? Some of you, if you travel for work, there may be an unexpected travel opportunities come on in. This could be to build relations or expand your reach abroad. If you're online, as I mentioned, some of you may be migrating your skill set and getting your work out there, but having a glow up, going viral, or being seen by a wider audience. But the World card can also indicate, because you have a lot of movement energy at the end of your reading, some of you may be looking into working on the go, being more nomadic, being more independent there, being your own boss or being freelance or doing something that helps you like travel or see the world, but at the same time earn money. This could be something you're looking into right now. Maybe even you're thinking about working in the travel industry for some of you, not all of you. But I feel with the Fool energy, whatever it is that you are doing right now, I feel it is going to be very exciting for your future, has a lot of potential, and it's literally the ripple effect. I mean, there's a little cat there, which represents independence, and I feel that for some of you, doing, work on the go, traveling, being independent, at times it can be lonely, because that Ten of Swords, I mean, it's a challenging environment, okay? But I feel like you're inspired, you got lots of ideas, and you're going to make it work. And you're going to meet people along the way, because the World card is a card of integration, alliances, partnerships, people who get you, people who are doing things that you're doing as well. So I feel like there will be some alliances made along the way there. But a lot of you, this period for you is focusing on getting everything done and then restarting the cycle, okay? So it can be maintaining and sustaining. A lot of you are like, what about the money, Baba? Tell me about the finances. So I feel with that Justice card, it's an even keel kind of period where, the money that comes in, you're going to be focused on like your repayment plans, bills, structuring the way your life works. Anyway, with money, I feel Page of Swords, some of you could utilize some sort of new app or technology that helps you keep your eye on your finances there. Some of you are portioning away a secret stash. Moon energy is like squirreling something away, being really savvy there. And I feel as well that there is a potential for new money-making ideas for you at this time. A lot of you, though, there could be some sort of talk or an appraisal or some sort of meeting, because this is a card of people communicating, a meeting here where you are told that, you could earn more money, or there is some sort of opportunity for a promotion, raise, or income bonus or incentive to earn more money that will be coming up in your future there. It could be something that's talked about at this time. It's being formulated, it's being structured before you actually step into that. Also, if you work for yourself, this could be the end of an accounting period for you, and you're trying to stay on top of your documents and your administrative tasks so that you can feel freer, getting it done earlier. I mean, it could literally be the end of the year tax return, and then you've done it, you're free, and then you're on to the next new year, because of course the Fool card is a newness energy. But I feel there is a new journey opening up for you in your industry, whatever it is, and it requires you to take a leap of faith. It's exciting, has a lot of potential, and I feel that there's more independence in that. With that Ten of Swords energy, I'm going to pull a card on it because there's so many new beginnings here that the Ten of Swords feels like it's paving the way for the new beginning rather than you beginning and then it ends. But I'm just going to pull a card on this before I move forward there for you. Ten of Swords always just indicates that mentally you're at capacity. You're exhausted, you have a lot going on, a lot to think about, and you're trying to compartmentalize your thoughts, your times, your interests and things like that. Ooh, that's a lot of cards there, but it is something that came out for this Ten of Swords. We've got Four of Pentacles, structure, foundation of finances, building upon what you have already. I already mentioned that. Eight of Pentacles, working really hard, okay? Working really hard, and of course, this is a structure. Whenever you have Eight of Pentacles, it means a routine or repetitive habit. We've got the Death card there, so that can indicate that there is something that either disrupts your routine or habit, or something that is new coming in, or it's an end of an old way of working, and it like opens new doors. The Death card is always a transition towards something greater. It is not the end of something, it is an evolution of something, as it were. Especially with the cards that you have. We've got the Knight of Swords, as I said. A very busy, fast-working environment. It means a quicker pace. It means you making some adjustments. It means you're responding differently, but also, most importantly, a Knight of Swords means you're broadening your horizons. So it can be that you're extending your reach, launching something new, or there's new projects, new clients, or things coming in that helps you expand on what you have already. And the Temperance card is like easy pace, or easier pace, more balanced, harmonious pace. sense of purpose, but also it's a Sagittarius card. So it means you're stepping into your power. It means that, you know, you are commanding in your role and you are very diligent at what you're doing. And I would say this is about having many fingers in many pies. I would also say it's like you're blending your skill set in order to expand. You could be recovering from something that was challenging in your working environment. If you've been off work for a while because you've been unwell, for example, or if, you know, the industry that you are in has been challenging and there's been no opportunities or no growth, or it feels very sparse right now, you're finding opportunities to grow where there was none. So I feel, you know, this is about you changing your mindset in some way, and the Emperor leads. So the Emperor is always about success, duty, responsibility. I feel like you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, but I feel the structure is going to work really well for you. This is a card of ambition. It's about being stricter with your finances as well, staying true to your strategy. You've got the plan. You've got a wonderful idea, and you're seeing it through to the end there. And I feel this is a card of either some of you literally becoming your own boss, or doing something secondary to what you do already, or being noticed by a person in a position of authority to offer you an alternative way of working or a better deal in some way, something that's going to excite you and give you more freedom with that Fool energy. But the Emperor, if you really think about what you have to do, the Emperor is grounded. You know, the Four of Pentacles that came out there is a foundation, and the Emperor, this card in particular, is a pyramid, and pyramids are renowned for the channel of energy. It's having that foundation. So yes, you're going to be very busy, but it's channeling all your energy into something that helps you elevate, because the foundation of a pyramid, of course, is a square, and it is on the earth, which means you are connected to something tangible right now, and the earth generates energy. So you can feel it in your feet when you stand on the earth, for example. So you're generating all this energy in order to channel it into something that elevates you, because the frequencies all align and the frequency charge goes up. It's like a magnet. It's like a battery. So it's like, yes, you need a bit of a break, but you recharge your batteries in order to channel your energy into something that elevates you in your working environment. And I feel, you know, this is you taking things to the next level. But when you do that, inevitably, working practices, people, situations, they fall away. Ten of Swords is like you going, okay, I've cleared that down. I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. I don't need that. That doesn't work. And you're being really kind of honest with yourself and saying, let's not waste time. Let's really lock on to what's important. I mean, the Four of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles, it tells me about your money. It means, you know, you're doubling down on what you are doing right now. You have a foundation set. Eight of Pentacles means you work really hard for your finances, okay? And you're building a structure. There's a routine. Consistency builds success, and I feel like you're consistent. But also, I feel like you've got a strategy, and I feel as well that, you know, Eight of Pentacles means routine is going to work really well for you, or having a habit that you're dedicated to is going to see you being incredible at your craft. You're already a pro at what you're doing. You're already established. You have a lot of knowledge there. But I feel also you're taking things to the next level in your career. So, oh, my guides want me to go one more, so I will. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? We've got Laborer. This person's got a hammer. Okay, so I did see a hammer in the water there whilst I was scrying. So I was picking up an energy, as I said, of someone perhaps covering you, or someone who's not as established as you. I mean, I didn't see any envy in your reading. I got to be honest with you, it's not there. But this card popped out. I just feel like there's someone that if they are kind of covering you and they're less experienced than you, okay, they may be the same age as you, or maybe, you know, they are older than you. And there may be a little bit of envy there that you're doing what you're doing right now. I feel like there's some sort of age thing. It could even be that they're younger than you and they just think they know it all and they don't. I'm not sure, but I feel it comes from a place of envy. Like, you know what? I should have your role. But they're just not willing to work and do what you do. So they can't have your role. Okay, I just want you to be aware of that. But envy did pop up there. But I feel a lot of you could be creating structure or wealth or a business that people will be envious of, and that's probably why you felt the need to go off grid, do it by yourself, and keep it a secret, because you just don't want people's negativity filtering into your business. So it says here, you could be envying other people's financial success. I don't see that at all. That's not in your protagonist energy. Try not to live beyond your means just to keep up with others. I mean, that's a rule for all of us, of course. And others could be envying your success. Careful who you trust with money matters. I would definitely say that's true across the board. But also, I would say be careful with your ideas, okay? Because people will see that you've got great ideas. As I said, you're a genius. You've got really great ones. And people kind of... sometimes they just can't have the ideas because they're not meant for them, but doesn't mean they can't just step up and try and pinch your idea or try to make it theirs in some way. They'd be the sort of people who would watch you like create something, and when it was fully formed, then they'd swoop in and try and take it. Rather than say, oh, that's a great idea, I'm going to go off and do that myself. They'd rather that you did all the hard work and then try and take the glory. So just watch out for that, okay? We've got crafter. Now this means you're measuring things up. As I said, you are researching. There's development here, measuring things, just getting everything into alignment, getting all the tools before everything is stitched together. There's different components to what you do. So I feel whatever it is you're creating right now, even if you are a creator, I just feel like all the components that you have are a winning strategy. And it says here, there's something wonderful just waiting to be expressed with your hands. So maybe it's something that's handmade for you, or something that perhaps you are contemplating that is involving you creating it yourself, personalized in some way. It says, consider careers doing homemade items or some kind of craft or project. And I definitely see a lot of you could be thinking about taking back the power of being your own boss there, maybe working from home, but I feel like you would take it outdoors. I feel like you'd work from many different places rather than just in your home space, because you could be a little bit more nomadic then. But it also says, think of ways to generate money that no one else has ever done before, or try something new. And I feel like you're all over that right now. You're bubbling up with ideas, and you know, if you really think about the Page of Swords and the Moon, it's like thinking about something that is not known, or something that is unique, something that sets you apart, and you're going to do it, and it's going to happen, and there's a lot of success attached to that. We also have motivator. A lot of you're learning to communicate your needs from a healthy space in the working environment, to speak up for what you desire and the path that you're on. But also, you could be using language skills, or, you know, you could be expanding your vocabulary and learning certain jargons, maybe skill developments, language learning, for example, to motivate others, or whatever it is that you do may motivate others. And for some of you, you could be doing something already that you're like a pro at, and you're like, okay, my second stream of income, or to complement what I do already, I could actually tell people about what I do or motivate them to go off and do it themselves. Because if you can do it, then other people, as long as they're motivated, they'll have a different skill set. They're not as talented as you until you impart your wisdom, and they will foster that talent there, and they will develop things. And then, of course, you could motivate others there. So you could be thinking about writing a book or a course of learning, or doing something that informs others, just because you have a lot of communication cards here. And actually the collective have had a very similar message with that. So a lot of people may be contemplating that at this time. But it says there is still a skill you possess that needs to be shared with the world. I mean, look at that card and then listen to that message. What you have, you can share it with the world if you're not already. And if you are already, I feel like it's going to expand its reach. You even have the world right there. You're communicating something in some way, and people are going to take notice. Consider a career in coaching or speaking or lobbying or activism or mentoring. And if you're in need of motivation, there's a period of needing to be inspired. So it could be that, fresh new ideas inspiring you there and helping you develop, you're investigating with that Page of Swords there. We've also got labor. Yes, you're going to work really hard. The next couple of weeks there is a lot going on. That. You don't need me to tell you that. There is a hammer there. So I feel this was something that was given to me to indicate that something you're doing is all coming together. It's shaping up, but it is something that requires a lot of hard work. Some of you may also think about health and safety in the working environment over the next coming weeks, just to make sure that you're on top of that. But it says a new job of some kind is coming your way, or you're going to be returning to work. So if you've been on maternity leave or paternity leave or out of work for any reason, you're returning at this time, but also something new is coming your way. And I can see it in your energy. A career in construction, maintenance, or any kind of labor work could be for you. Not for everybody, of course, but it can indicate that something you're constructing or building is going to come together and be very strong for your future there as well, or you're maintaining and sustaining what you have worked for so far. Your dependable and loyal nature will be rewarded soon. Keep at it. And as I said there with that moon energy, you're loyal to something, you are committed to something, but also you're curious about something new. Independent, something that kind of coincides with or complements what you do already. And I feel, again, it's going to bring in more money for you. We've also got ask for help, okay? If some of you are worried about finances and you have a certain bill looming, for example, call the person up, call up the institution or company that you have the bill with. They will find a structure that helps you out so that you don't feel overwhelmed, okay? If you ignore it, because the moon is there, if you ignore it, it will just get louder and louder. It'll whisper from the sidelines at you, and that is going to just bring you down and make you feel, overwhelmed, basically. So face it head on, and they will find a structure to help you, and they'll actually be very compassionate about it. So just be mindful about that. But also, if you're in a working environment and you feel like you're doing it all, because I see there with that world energy, you're doing it all, ask for help, delegate. There are diplomatic ways to say, you know what, I can't help you right now, but I will when I've finished all of this work that I've got to do myself. So if someone is trying to pass all their work on to you, then diplomatically just say your piece and say, not right now, but when I'm finished. Normally it's time sensitive and they're going to have to go off and do it themselves. But also, I would say that this is interesting. This is coming through. This is not going to resonate with everyone, but sometimes the nature of the help that we ask for is important. So, for example, if you are utilizing something like debt, you can leverage that debt as an investment tool to kind of build wealth. So that's like helping, you get on the financial ladder by taking a mortgage, for example, or, a commercial loan, for example, if you're going into some sort of career in real estate or commercial real estate. For some of you, it could also be that, you're investing in your company in order to build, and it will just, regenerate finances. Or it could be, getting a loan from a financial institution that helps you set up a startup, for example, for some of you, because you have that Fool card there and the Page of Swords. It is a different type of help that will not make you feel overwhelmed. Okay, but if it's a route that you've contemplated, do your due diligence, do your research, you'll find the right, alliance to help you with that and the right advice with that. But it says here, consider asking for help with regards to any problems. Look at your financial situation from a new perspective. You still have some resources remaining. So all is not lost. If you're struggling with something there, I want you to be aware of it. Help really is at hand. But also I feel like there's something here regarding hands. So it could be something that you're creating right now that is actually going to help you build more wealth. And you're working really hard on this, whatever this is. And, the time is near for you to step up in your career and your finances. We've got big chance with that Wheel of Fortune, definitely a big chance coming up here for you. And we've got 3 cups here as well. Maybe that's relevant, not sure, but I feel this is more about your dreams over spilling into other areas and actually, being fulfilled. But it says here, the odds are stacked in your favor. That's the Wheel of Fortune right there for you. So go for it now. Your cup overflows. Okay, so you're going to be blossoming. There's roses there, which means there's thorns. There's always hard areas, in every industry, things that you don't love doing, but it's about making sure that you have balance there. And we got leadership role. I mean, to have the Emperor right there and the leadership role, either you're being your own boss or there's a role coming up, or this is you taking the lead in your industry in some way and really being noticed. It says you're called to step up and be the authority, a position of power. I mean, the chair is waiting. I just heard. I mean, that's obvious because it's on the card there, but I just heard the chair is waiting. Some of you could chair your own business or foundation or something, but this is you kind of like filling a role that you feel comfortable in, as well as in command in, and I just feel like you're going to thrive. I mean, look at the flowers. There's a couple of flowers there, and then suddenly there's a whole bouquet. So you're expanding your reach, and I feel like you are nurturing something that completely blossoms and, informs itself. If you think about the nature of like the cycle of life, flowers, vegetables, things like that, the seeds, they plant, they grow into something, then they reinform themselves. Like the seeds will drop, they'll go back into the soil, and they'll grow again. So there's a cycle. So I feel a lot of you are entering into a cycle of growth, and you're nourishing something. You need to pay attention to it, be vigilant with it. So it requires your attention, but a lot of you are thinking about, could I get something up and running that doesn't require so much of my attention so that I can be free to do other things? So what do we got here? Oh my gosh. So we got a bicycle there. So this is being in a cycle of repeat, but it's also making advancements, moving and improving. For some of you, it could be that you're going to be on the move or you want to be more freelance in your working environment. But I would say the cycle of repeat or the routine is actually going to help you there. For some of you, it could be a courier, or it could be that, you're making deliveries, or you're doing a lot of things. You're going all over the place. I mean, if you think about the nature of movement, you think about a car, it can get stuck in traffic, but a cycle, a bicycle, it can like whiz on through. So it could be that where there is challenge there, you're finding a way to be flexible and advance before other people. We've also got a flower. So this is another indication of growth, harmony, and something new and fresh happening in your industry that is going to benefit you. And also we've got the butterfly, nature of change. Also, I would say networking is great over the next coming weeks and months there. But the butterfly is indicative of you spreading your wings and flying, because something is ready to be either released, launched, or looked at this time that is going to help you elevate. Also, if you think about butterflies and flowers, this is about you having the freedom to kind of like pick and choose or be like a social butterfly or like do many things. I mean, you wear many hats in your work anyway, but I feel extra role of duty or responsibilities, I feel it helps you advance in some way. And I feel like you're up for the challenge. Okay, so I will leave it there, my beautiful Sagittarians. I hope something resonates in this reading for you in some shape or form. So thank you so much, and love and light.